Beep boop bop boop.
So the thing is, Gene, when we do these cold opens, we never expect us to be in a not good mood.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
So what I'm going to say is you should start the show right before I say, you stupid mother. That music is like Pavlovian, man.
Yeah, right.
It's like, I was trying to do the stupid mother joke and you didn't hit to the cut. And I had to stop because you wanted to see if I was going to say it. I know how that phrase ends, Gene.
It's only one way that
I've
it ends.
been on both sides of it.
Have you really? I have
Oh,
to.
it sounds the same,
Yeah.
but it feels different.
Yeah.
How you doing, Gene Crawford?
Good, man. We're recording this on a Friday, so
It's kind of
Friday's a
weird.
good day.
Friday.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
man.
cool shirt.
Thank you. Steve Jenks did it. It's one part of our Friday launch collection,
That's pretty good.
which is a dangerous thing. Anybody in web services knows.
Yes.
You don't launch on a damn Friday.
Not
Not
unless you want to work on a Saturday.
Not unless you don't like weekends.
Yeah, I know.
Because launch on a Friday and that weekend will disappear. Mm-hmm. Doug Henning.
Could you just change? Sorry, I know I should have, but could you just? Yeah, fuck that.
I thought you were asking me to change. Could you just?
I'm convincing. That's how convincing clients can
You are an amazing actor.
be. Am I?
No. But I appreciate you asking me for clarification. I don't want to lie to you, Gene.
Are really good actors just really good liars?
This is a great question. Because I was thinking about this as I was coming over here today, getting ready to record this, and I was thinking about, is all this shit worth it?
Yeah.
Is everything we do running a shop worth it? And then I was thinking back to the one job I had, right? Because I will firmly say that I think most people who run web shops are not employable.
I am not employable.
We're not employable. That's why we did this.
Yes.
And I'm thinking back to the job that I had, and I thought, I presented well. And then I thought, is I presented well just another way of saying I was a good liar?
Probably.
Because I didn't have confidence in what I was doing, but I projected that confidence.
You
right?
sold it.
I did. I sold it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't lying to them. I was probably believing
Well, yeah.
that I could figure it out.
A little method acting. You just convince yourself that that's how it is, and then it's easy to do.
Gene, how long have you been running your shop?
17 years.
Worth it?
Not at all.
Oh my God, what were we thinking?
I don't know.
Like I'm at the bureau now and I'm fine. Because I got like 700 customers and that's cool.
Yeah.
3 clients is a death wish.
Yeah. I
Oh
will
my
tell
God.
you, I tried to work for someone about 4 years ago now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the Iron Yard, I had done, in the co-work that I own, we did the first franchise version of the Iron Yard. And then they were trying to get funding or whatever they were doing. And they couldn't have franchises. So they had to buy the franchise out, which was cool.
Yeah.
But as part of that, I became an employee. And I think I lasted about 8 months. And they hired me.
Well, and you took the whole thing down from the inside.
Yeah, this was the plan. Yeah.
The way you showed me the schematics that you did and the little, I love the drawings that Gio put around the outside. They were just gorgeous. It was amazing. And good for you. I'm proud of you, the way that you took it down. So 17 years, you tried for 8 months to do something else. Mm-hmm. And did you come running back to running your shop? Or did you ever really shut down your shop? Or was it always kind of going on the side?
Yeah, well, it's probably one of the reasons why they fired me. But I kind of kept it. We kept it going. I mean, it had 2 employees, 3 employees actually when I was doing the Iron Yard stuff. Because again, that started as like just almost like a side thing. Like, we had the co-work going, and then it was like, well, that can go in the co-work, and it's kind of split time or whatever. And then it became supposedly full time, and I wasn't spending full time on it because I was keeping the web shop running.
Right.
That's not why. I mean, it's just that, like, one, things didn't work out, but two, I was distracted, and I wasn't delivering on the thing that they needed.
Yeah. I mean, so that's it, right? I mean, what you just said, you weren't delivering on the thing that they needed. And I think this becomes a big part of why people start their own companies, right? Forget just web shops. Like, in general, people start something because they have an idea. They think other people don't know what they're doing. The people they were working for, they get told that they need to, get in their little hole. You go over there. That's where you belong. That's what you do. And then we're just like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I've got ideas. And then we go and we build exactly the place that we left because it was the only experience we ever had. We call things the same things. We steal forms and just swap out logos. Right? This is like the first year or 2 years. If you, like, when I left Huss Jennings, the agency, man, I fucking just replicated it. I don't know what I was thinking, but oh man.
It's what you knew, and it's what you knew as success.
Yeah, no, that's totally valid. And I'll say this, it's when you start your own company, there is nobody left to blame. And I think that becomes the wake-up call,
right,
to appreciate anybody you worked for before.
Yeah, absolutely. So have you at any point in your running your own business after that, have you reached out to the people that you worked for, or somebody that was a manager or something?
Yeah, I mean, so when I started Engine, this is 2003. A lot of you kids listening weren't even born. Huh? Maybe like 6 or 9 months into it, I shot an email out to Melanie Husk, who is the only boss I've ever had, and she ruined me for other bosses. I've said that a bunch of times. And I said, hey, can we grab lunch? And she was like, sure. And I told her, we're sitting there having a nice meal, and I said, I just want to apologize. I didn't know what this was when you're in charge and you're running everything.
Right.
And she said, she's the one that told me, yeah, there's nobody left to blame anymore. She goes, a lot of the things you were upset about were real. She was like, I did do things that you didn't understand because I wasn't just running a company. I was running a family. I was trying to manage a marriage. And you're sitting there thinking, that's a stupid business move. And she said, you even kind of told me that. And I was your boss. I was like, I know, I'm sorry. And she was like, no, but you weren't wrong. You just didn't understand the bigger picture of it's not just this company. This company is part really of kind of 3 prongs where it's like me personally, me and my family, me and my company. And I think, Brian Zimiski from Zerb, I was having drinks with him once, and he told me that his secret to trying to do it was he knew he could only focus on 2 of those 3 points a day. Right? Like he said, think of it as a triangle, and whatever's on the bottom, you can't focus on that day. And so maybe you really need to focus on yourself and your family, and the business just has to figure it out for a day without you. Or maybe it's you have to focus on yourself and the business, and the family will be fine. And I don't know if this is true for you, but I have never been able to get my company and my family in a really good place at the same time.
I think you're right.
Have you?
It's kind of weird.
Anybody listening, have you ever been able to get it where your company and your family were just humming along?
Not for an extended, memorable amount of time.
I will take 10 minutes.
Okay.
No, I'm with you though, right? It's like for a week, for a month. I mean, hell, Bezos couldn't do it. Bezos, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? Evidently, old Billy Gates struggled.
Couldn't do
right?
it either.
So I'm not saying it's just old white dudes who are billionaires. It's like anybody. I think we create these companies and they become an extension of ourselves, and we protect them and we defend them and we apologize for them, right? And we try to do what's best for them. And there are probably people out there that are much better at this than I am. I was never able to be what I needed to be for both the company and my family at the same time. Like true confessions.
Well, I think the types of businesses that we run are very susceptible to everything you just said, right? This services, consulting, human resource based things. I know I've coached people who run different types of businesses. Like I mean, one guy, he's a roofer, right? And he's very much like not who he is as a human being is not defined by how good of a quality a roof he installs, right? He's just like, I do a good job, I provide value, my customers aren't mad at me, they're happy with the work, and I just pay my employees and we just do our work. And he goes home, I know him, he goes home and he's cool. You know what I mean? And I'm not disparaging that type of work. I think in many ways, something like that would be really refreshing. There's so many days where I'm like, fuck, I just want to like go drive a lawnmower all day for a living. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
Like that would be so cool to just do that.
Yeah. I had somebody I worked with, Melanie's husband, Gary, right? Who kind of fancied himself my boss, but we both knew there was only one boss. It was Melanie. Gary could throw a tantrum. He could get his way. But I remember one day he told me, he goes, his favorite thing in the world to do was mow the lawn. And I was like, your favorite? He goes, when it comes to work things, he's like, when I have to do something, he's like, I mow the lawn. He goes, and why? Because in creative services, you can finish something and then before you even know it, it's undone. He goes, when I go and I mow a strip of that grass and I turn around, it did not just grow back.
It took a while. I could watch it.
Exactly. And you know what I realized was that's doing dishes for me. I love washing dishes.
That's cool.
Even if I do it wrong, right? Which I found out later in life, I am horrible at it. But it's one of those things, right? It's like those types of jobs. And again, to your the roofer, the plumber, the blue collar, this kind of stuff. If they're independent contractors, they probably go through this as well. If they're working for somebody else, maybe not. But I think it's just this situation of we've made this choice and we are going to have to divide ourselves. And the other thing that really is a struggle for me, I mean, even with the Bureau, it's I want to take care of my family first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've told the girls, everything I do is for you. I just have to focus on that because sometimes the things I'm doing, I just don't want to do, but they need to get done.
Right.
And when I realize that I'm doing that so y'all can have the lives that you want to have, now you're going to take care of yourselves. You're going to stand up. You don't need to depend on me. But right now, I have to go do this. And so then I'm not there emotionally and I'm not there physically, but I'm there financially. And I think when you're running your own shop, you get into this struggle. And there's some people I've seen who I think have done it amazingly well, or they are amazing illusionists, right? But I mean, and I don't want you to out like the inner workings of the Crawford household, but have you not struggled with this where
for 17 years
there's something going on with the family, but damn it, we've got to finish this project, and that's just, it's just fucking painful.
The big one is vacations, right? I mean, I can't tell you, honestly, it wasn't until recently, and it wasn't even a big vacation. It was just like a few days.
Few days in the backyard.
To me,
put up a tarp.
To me, when I say vacation, a trip, like I fly somewhere in an airplane and we're gone for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. To me, that's like a amount of time. I don't think I've ever taken one since I started my own business where I wasn't working before they got up or working after they went to bed or like secretly like responding to people throughout the day about something that's fucked up. Like, I've always kind of done that. What are you mad about?
No, keep going. My mirror neurons are flashing.
And sometimes it's like, hey, we got to get this done because, hey, this is extra money. This is paying for this trip, which is always bullshit. But like, usually it's something that I've fucked up, like not managing properly with the client, or we're in trouble because of something. So I'm doing corrective things, and it's just the timeline hit up against to the vacation. I just have to fucking deal with it while we're there. It's all kinds of different reasons. But I don't think until like maybe 2 years ago was I ever took a vacation where I was working. We went to the mountains like earlier this year, and I didn't have any, like there was no problem. There was no thing to build. Wow, I don't know what's going on. And I just I opened up my computer, because of course I brought my computer, and I was like, I'm just going to write.
It's like
and
muscle
I just
memory.
created
Something.
Yeah, but I just created some stuff for myself, and I was like, this has got to be how the better half lives. Is this what it means to be a billionaire?
No, well, something you just said really triggered me, and it was this secretly working.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you run a shop and you know that, or you've told yourself, let's not say that let's say you've told yourself, and I mean, you could be a 3, 4, 5, 50, 100 person company, whatever. Maybe at 100, you get a little more air cover, but you're sitting there and you're like, I should probably just check in. Mm-hmm. I should just check in. And then you're like, oh, I've got to go to the bathroom again.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah, right? Or it's not even that, right? For me, I just look and see, oh, my family's doing this thing. You know what? I actually started just doing it in the open.
Yeah.
We had an event. We were at a beach vacation, and I knew that we needed to get Owner Summit on sale. And I was sitting there, and they were just going through this marathon of true crime shows, and I was just like, do we have to do this?
Yeah, I'm good.
It's so painful.
Yep.
And then I said, you know what? While they're doing that, I'm just going to finish up the last things here, and I'm going to put this on sale. And I put it on sale, and I shot out to alumni and to members a special link that they could go ahead and grab it. Mm-hmm. And then, I watched sales start to happen. I watched people go, oh, sweet, we want to get there. We want to do this. And I started to sell the sale. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
Right. And I was able to go back into, the guy who buried 17 people 3 feet from the road or whatever. And then nobody was like, I don't know. He's digging another hole. So interesting. But so, I mean, this is the thing, because you feel like when you try to do it secretly, you're keeping something from your family, and they know it. The other thing, when I was running Engine, we would have like a really nice meal or do something, and even when the kids were little, we would say, thanks, Engine, right? It was just like this little thing that, so they knew that when I was gone, that was kind of the deal.
Mm-hmm. I think that's probably healthy. It's probably healthy to let everyone know what's going on. You know what I mean? It's gonna help alleviate some stress, and you might even get support.
Well, I mean, yeah, you might. Yeah.
I always wish I would have done that. Just said like, hey, shit's hitting the fan. I know we're on vacation, but I got to go take care of this, and then just sit your ass down and take care of it.
Yeah.
Instead of
you do it from the lounge chair by the pool.
Yeah, or this piecemeal shit that you wind up doing for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Which only makes whatever thing you're working on worse.
I mean, I get it. And I know there are people that listen to this, people that I know that are good friends that are going to be like, no, you've got to just cut yourself off. Just do that. And you know what? I don't think they're wrong.
Right. They're not.
I just think you have to ask yourself, is not knowing or not taking care of it going to make me an asshole for 2 days because I'm worried about it?
Right.
And the family's not going to be able to have a good time because I'm constantly going, harumph. Or can I spend an hour and feel like, and trick myself into thinking, oh, it's all good, and here we go.
Well, I think something that kind of happens is, we were talking about lying. We lie to ourselves a lot.
Oh, and the narratives, the stories we tell.
Yeah, and I think for me, I was able to deal with a lot of this better when I just sort of accepted that this is who I am. This is the lifestyle that I've chosen. It's who I am, the type of business I run. Like, I don't know, like for the first 10 years, all we did was fight against the type of business we were. We're not a services company. We're going to do this. And this thing, and this is how
We're
we do
gonna
things.
build a product,
Or
and
I
it's
didn't want
gonna
to say
make a
that
lot of
specifically, but
money.
yeah, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? You're a services company that's like hates itself and is pretending to be something else. And I know so many people that do that. And it wasn't until I was just like, look, man, we build shit for other people. That's all it's about. It's about how we deal with those people
Yeah.
and the quality of the shit we build, and that's it. Like, don't worry about it. Don't try to be something you're not, you know?
Yeah.
And that probably happened about the same time when I started doing other things. Like I started doing conferences, we launched a co-work, and those things sort of scratch that itch too. But they're different buckets. I wasn't trying to take this thing that's a services company and turn it into some other shit.
Right.
You know? It
Right.
can't be. It's like it is what it is.
I mean, you have to stay true to yourself, but you also have to stay in existence.
Yeah.
And this becomes another challenge, I think, when you're running a shop. It's like when, and this is early on. I don't know that this still exists. And this is another thing, right? So you and I, a lot of people started their shops in the late 90s, right? We started in early 2000s. We're kind of the first generation of web shop owners, digital agency, digital studio, whatever you want to say, to be looking at some level of retirement or exit or this or
Right.
that. And I think that causes a lot of reflection right now.
Yeah.
Now, there are other people who are just at the beginning of this that they're going to hear some of this and go, what? But for at the time, because we were new, there was this whole, well, we're going to hand you business cards with our logo and your name. And I remember us going, oh, that's great because we have a trash can.
Yep.
That's where we'll put that. Because no, we're building a name for ourselves. We're doing something. Yeah, we're creating stuff for other people,
Right.
but we're doing this for us. And that's the thing. I think this became really evident to me early on. We hold the power of creation. And people come to us to create things for them. And then we act like we don't have any power. What the hell is that? We have all the power. We have the magic. They don't know how to do this. And I don't care today how many Squarespaces or Wix or whatever may be out there. There's still magic. There's still things that we can do that they can't do. And they need us. Now, we need them to survive and to take care of our families. But when did we get so wimpy? It like started early on, and I think it's because the web was so new. But now it's not. It's been around for a while. I've definitely been around for a while, right? You?
Same here.
Pretty long time. So yeah, that to me is just like, we have to stand up, right? But at the same time, we're having families. Oh, I mean, so Gene, if you could go back, right at that origin moment for period 3, would you still do it?
Absolutely.
I can't imagine doing anything else.
I can't either.
And yet I question every moment of it.
I know it's a certain personality type for sure.
Would you do it different though? Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, obviously. I mean, with the experience that I have and the knowledge of how things work, not things, but people, the knowledge of how people work and respond. Yeah, I would do things very differently.
What about between the company and your family? Because I think, how old are your boys?
18 and 16.
Yeah, right. So, and your company is
17.
There you go. Right.
Oh, yeah.
And so I started Engine when Kaylee was 3 and Alyssa was 1. Right. And so it's one of those things, like a lot of us, I think we realized we now have new responsibilities. We've got little people we have to take care of. So we start our own thing thinking that's the way to do it. And it kind of takes us out of the equation. But once we get established and everything, they're kind of out of the equation.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But that's not just people who started their own business. I mean, I've heard of like traveling salespeople or C-level
traveling salespeople. That's what you're going to lead with.
Firemen, whatever the fuck. But like, I mean, it's not just us, man. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
people do that. They bury themselves in work, and you know, I think
Well,
it's. But there's a lot to that. There's a lot to unpack with like what you think success means and where you put your priorities behind
oh
getting to
yeah,
that. I mean, that's like a whole different.
I
We have,
totally
we have
agree.
to call Dr. Phil.
I've got friends that are crazy successful the way that I look at it,
Yeah.
and yet they feel like
Mhm.
they haven't quite done what they meant to, right? And it's not just money, although money definitely plays a role.
Yes.
Like not everybody's trying to get through this like Gandhi, who evidently made a lot of money on rice. I don't know, but but not everybody's trying to just create something. You have to
Yeah.
sustain, you have to stay alive, you have to do all those things. But the thing to me is when I talk to some of my friends who, they could sell their companies for lots and lots of money, and some of them are positioned to do it. Like, no, I'm not ready. And this gets to this idea
Hmm.
of our companies being a part of us,
Hmm.
and our families are us,
Hmm.
right? They're not a part of us; they are us.
Yeah.
And when you have a company, it's an extension of you. Maybe it's a
Hmm.
manifestation of ideas that you had and other people had, but it's not
Well,
going to
well,
love you
man.
in your old age. It's
No,
not
it's
going to
fair.
come visit you at the old folks' home.
Well, you probably spend more. If you have your own business, you probably spend more time with it than you do your actual family.
Even if you're with your family.
Yeah. Yeah. And even when you're with them, you're thinking about
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
stuff.
Now, and that's the thing, right? Like, how often were you at work just knee deep trying to figure shit out, but your brain was really thinking about one of your kids?
Hmm. Oh yeah.
How many times are you with one of your kids, doing something, but your brain is really at work?
Mhm.
This is what we got to fix. I think work life balance is probably bullshit. I
Well,
think it's about being where you are when you're there so that you can make real things happen.
yeah.
When you're at work, be at work. When you're home, be home. Sometimes work is going to need you more. Sometimes home is going to need you more. But the worst of it,
Yeah.
and I remember Melanie saying this to me. We were having this discussion right before, it was right after I told her I was leaving. I'd been there 14 years. And she said, I looked up and my kids were grown, right? And I vowed I wouldn't let that happen. But you know what, Gene? I've looked up, my kids are grown.
But I mean, you're at this point in your life too. This is going to happen regardless. Like
Yeah, it's very rude. They just kept growing.
I know you can't get time back, man. They grow. You can't go backwards. They'll never be the way they were before.
Right.
You'll never be the way you were before. I think work-life balance as a concept is bullshit too, because you're sort of looking. You're you. You are who you are. You're a person. You do these things.
Yeah.
You might identify yourself more with the things you produce. You might identify yourself more by the people that you've decided to live your life with, or the kids that you've produced, or whatever. You might be a mix of the two, but you have to accept that that's who you are. I think, not to get too psychological, but we struggle with that, just like, and I did for a long time, just like I did with my business, struggling to not accept the type of business it is. Like, we're not lame like those other, design shops. We're special. Not really. You're just another design shop. Just hopefully you do a little bit better than the other one. Same
Yeah.
with being a parent. You're not special. Just I hope you don't fuck your kids up more than the next guy. Like, just accept who you are.
Yeah.
Get on with your life, man. Like,
Let's
I
call it work-life focus.
yeah, I like that.
I think that's it. It's like, I mean, and not for everybody. I mean, and if somebody really, really respects work-life balance and that works for them, that's great. Again,
Right,
this
you
is
figure
not about
something out.
everything is the same for
No,
everybody.
no, no, no.
But I know we're coming up on time here, and I appreciate, first of all, I want to say thank you, because I know this wasn't the topic we were going with, and I came in kind of hot and bothered to talk about, is all this shit worth it? And I will say I think it is. I mean, oh, spoiler alert, but it's like, it's hard. And there's going to be things that you do that you regret and that you wish you did differently. But I'm going to end with this. My kids had a pretty good childhood. When we did go places, we did things, we had a lot of fun, we did all this stuff. And I'll see
Right.
videos of them that they made Like, this is the best about Gen Z.
Right.
Is they're making their own family videos when they're
Yeah,
3.
I know, it's weird.
We handed them those damn iPhones, and we
Yep.
didn't know when they got the iPad that they were just going to be like, I shall now start documenting my life
Yep.
at 3 years
Yep,
of
from
age.
that perspective.
But I remember going and looking through those videos and the narrative that I had told myself. And I definitely made mistakes, right? You always make mistakes. But they were having their lives while I was doing the things. While
That's
I was
right.
doing the work stuff, they were still having their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, they're pretty great kids. You know, they
Did
have their
something right.
challenges, but and there are days where you're just like, what did I do that caused somebody to be like that?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh,
Oh, well.
they're independent. You know, my dad said this to me. He goes, just realize if you raise independent kids, they're not going to listen to you.
Right.
So here we are.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, man. I like that.
Yeah. Good times. Gene, thanks for letting me have
Hey, man.
an episode, a moment.
Is that what this is?
It's a podcast. We call them episodes.
Yeah, it's true.
No, I miss running a shop, I guess. And then I asked myself, was it worth it? And, there's part of it where you just feel special and important. And, I'll say this about Engine. Like you're right. I mean, everybody, are you special? Are you this? Are you that? I think we were. I think we did some great things. We took things different places. We weren't serious about it. We had a lot of fun. We drank a lot of tequila. A lot of tequila. That maybe isn't the best thing we should have been doing, but I just think that I'm looking at pictures right now, one of my daughters that's on the wall here. That's what I'm looking at right now. And I'm looking at who she is and what she's become. And yeah, you know what? There are things I would definitely take away, but me being in charge of my life and building something that I felt was important, I think that's what they took away, because now they are building things that they think are important.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they're really going to work for anybody else.
And that's your legacy.
That's just my legacy, Gene-Nerd Crawford. Your name is now Gene-Nerd.
That's okay. I'll take it.
You good, brother?
All right, man. Yeah, I'm good.
All right. You just going to stop it? You just going to end the episode?